Now, looking into this, we all know Elvis as what he is of today. But can you just imagine if, your parents didn't have much money, or maybe you're a parent, you don't have much money, and all of a sudden your son gets just this talent and he goes to church and he ends up loving music so much and turns it into something and ends up one day being the king of rock and roll. Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8th, 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. Presley was supposed to be a twin, but his brother Jesse Guerin was stillborn. For those of you who don't know what stillborn means, pretty much means you pass away at birth. So he was supposed to be a twin, but unfortunately his brother Jesse passed away when he was born. From very humble beginnings, Presley grew up to become one of the biggest names in rock and roll. Raised by loving working class parents, Presley's family had little money and they moved from place to place frequently. He was deeply devoted to his parents, especially his mother. Gladys Ann was raised to have strong faith in God. Presley attended the Assembly of God Church with his parents, where gospel music became an important influence for him. Presley received his first guitar as a gift from his mother on his 11th birthday in 1946 and had his first taste of musical success a few years later when he won a talent show at Humes High School in Memphis. After graduating in 1953, he worked a number of jobs while pursuing his musical dream. He cut his first demo record at what later became known as Sun Studio that year, and before long, Sam Phillips, the record label owner, decided to take the young performer under his wing. Presley soon began touring and recording, trying to catch his first big break. That's Alright was Presley's first single in 1954. In 1955, Presley began to develop a following, with fans being drawn to his unusual music style, proactive gyrating hips, and good looks. The same year, he signed with RCA Records, a deal worked out by his manager, Colonel Tom Parker. Presley was on a roll, scoring his first #1 single with Heartbreak Hotel, as well as his first #1 album, Elvis Presley, and signing a movie contract with Paramount Pictures, all in 1956. Despite the uproar that his sexy dance moves caused, he also became a popular guest on a number of television variety shows. Soon, Presley was everywhere, working as a musician and actor. His first film, Love Me Tender in 1956, was a box office hit. Even in a stint in the US military couldn't put a damper on Presley's thriving career. He received his draft notice in 1957 and was inducted into the Army the following March. He eventually served in Germany for about a year and a half. Shortly before Presley left for Europe, his developed mother, Gladys, died. He was granted a leave and returned to Memphis for the funeral. Deeply saddened by her death, Presley returned to duty. While in Germany, his spirits were lifted slightly when he met a young teenager named Priscilla Bielenu. I probably said that name wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. The pair fell in love and married on May 1st, 1967 in good old Las Vegas, Nevada. After leaving the Army in 1960, Presley resumed his career and was soon back at the top of the charts with the soundtrack for his film G.I. Blues. He continued recording music and acting in such films as Blue Hawaii 1961, Girls, Girls, Girls 1962, and Viva Las Vegas in 1964. Though his films were often hit or miss with both critics and audiences, they brought in a profit and the soundtracks usually sold well. By the late 1960s, however, the performer appeared to be losing the box office appeal. Provising he was still the king of rock and roll, he recorded his first TV special in 1968, often referred to as the 68 comeback. He wowed audiences with his performance, which showcased his talents as a singer and a guitarist. Around this time, Presley's personal life also seemed to be on an upswing. He and Priscilla wed in 1967 and had a daughter, Lisa Marie, the following year. Unfortunately, this joyous time would not last. By the early 1970s, Presley's marriage was falling apart. The couple divorced in 1973 and Priscilla received custody of their daughter, Lisa Marie. Presley was also wrestling with other personal problems, including a growing addiction to prescription drugs. The once thin rock star was battling a weight problem, and his destructive lifestyle caught up with him that fall when he was hospitalized for drug-related health problems. Despite his personal obstacles, Presley remained a popular draw in Las Vegas and on tour. He performed at his last concert in June 1977 in Indianapolis, Indiana. After the concert, he returned home to his Memphis mansion, Graceland, to prepare for another tour. On the morning of August 16, 1977, Presley died of heart failure at the age of 42. It was later ruled that his death was related to his prescription drug use. Presley was buried on the Graceland property near the grave sites of his mother Gladys, father Vernon, and grandmother Minnie Mae Hood Presley. Throughout his amazing career, Presley helped popularize rock and roll music in America. He also won 3 Grammy Awards for his gospel recordings. A major musical force, Presley had 18 #1 singles, including Don't Be Cruel, Good Luck Charm, and Suspicious Minds, as well as countless gold and platinum albums. He was one of the first performers inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. But Presley had been recognized for his contributions to several music genres, most notably rock, country, and gospel. In 1998, Presley was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. 3 years later, he was inducted into the Gospel Music Association's Gospel Music Hall of Fame. Since his death, Presley has remained one of the world's most popular music icons. Over the years, several documentaries and films have explored the performer, including a 2005 television series starring Jonathan Rhys Meyers as Elvis. In 2018, a 2-part documentary, Elvis Presley: The Searcher, was released and explores his early life, rise to fame, and his myriad music influences. Wow. If you haven't known anything about Elvis, I really hope this documentary kind of helped you out. Like I said, I'm a reactor, but I also like to look into actors. If there's an actor you want me to see, or sorry, musicians. If there's any musicians you would like for me to react to, again, and do a documentary on, please let me know. If you are a Patreon, hit it in my inbox. Again, my Patreons come first, but I will always make sure to read the comments. Again, this was amazing. Like I said, Elvis, King of Rock and Roll, was amazing. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed this documentary. Make sure you stay tuned for more. Smash that subscribe button if you are not, and make sure you guys stay tuned again, once again, for more reaction videos. This is your boy, Mr. K Smiles K. I'm out.